A very good evening to you and welcome to News Night here on Metro TV from our studios here at Region Accra, the Akria Boy in my studio. We are very active on DSTV channel 277. I am Bright Nana Kwesi Ameni. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Parliament directs Ministry of Defense to immediately withdraw military personnel undertaking the installation of meters in the lower Minya area to ease tension there. And here in Accra, Albert Jumfo, head of corporate affairs at Tobinco Group, declared president of the Ghana Journalists Association in the just ended national executive elections. We're bringing more on this. And a member of Parliament Mines and Energy Committee, Edward Barr, paints a gloomy picture over the country's fuel pricing situation, says surge to continue on if government doesn't immediately operationalize toll. And also, traders of KGTR markets serve notice to embark on a demonstration following the connection of power at their trade center by the Electricity Company of Ghana, thereby disrupting their businesses. And on the international front, U.S. Supreme Court ends constitutional right to abortion. And thank you for your time with us here tonight. Now, first the news here this evening. Parliament has directed the Minister for Defense to order the immediate withdrawal of soldiers undertaking the installation of prepaid meters in the lower Maniacal constituency to ease tensions there. The second Deputy Speaker, Andrew Esiama, giving the directive, also demanded that the Minister of Energy to brief the House on the need for the deployment.
The soldiers are assisting the ECG with the installation of new prepaid meters following months of hostility between residents and the ECG over the payment of electricity bills. The ECG has justified the use of military personnel during the exercise. The deployment was because previous attempts at introducing prepaid meters in the enclave caused a rift between residents and workers of ECG, with cases where ECG officials were reportedly physically assaulted and a resident shot dead in a police response, which also left others injured. A member of parliament for the area, Ebenezer Okletete-Labi, raised the matter on the floor of the House on Friday, indicating that the presence of the military men is heightening tensions in the community.
I believe that we have had enough tension in this country. We have had enough. And there's a need for us to really be very careful when we are deploying these men. Because, Mr. Speaker, I don't know the kind of briefing that they were giving. But then they move into their homes carrying guns. And then they come, they ask, and they said they have been instructed by national security to come and install meters. Mr. Speaker, the people are not happy about it, and it is creating tension. Mr. Speaker, as part of the agreement, what we said was that at least we are lucky we have a lot of institutions in this area. We could start with the institutions as we engage the communities. And in the process, Mr. Speaker, even those who were against it or are against it would come on board. But then, Mr. Speaker, what is happening now, it is not sightly at all. It is unsightly.
Second Deputy Speaker Andrew Esiama subsequently issued directives to the Ministers for Energy and Defense on the matter.
We are also directing that the Minister for Defense withdraw the military attaché in the area for the time being over the weekend, for us to actually settle the matters. I so direct.
But following a recent stakeholder consultation amongst interested parties aimed at finding an amicable solution, an agreement was arrived at to commence the process.
So how have residents of Krobo welcomed the directive by Parliament? We are joined by a resident who pleased to speak on to us on condition of anonymity. Now, hello and welcome to this night. We want to find out, how have you as a resident considered Parliament's directive?
Thank you. Good evening, and good evening to your cherished viewers. The information coming later this afternoon is a welcoming information. It's not that we have a will not to pay for service delivered by the service operators, but the way they have deployed military into the community with the tension we have, this will bring a great relief to everybody, because we don't live in community with armed soldiers. That is the worry. So we are very happy, and as a resident, I'm very happy to hear the news that they must go. Soldiers have been brothers, we have friends, but not on deployments to your home. You just be in your home, and 4 or 5 soldiers barge into your home with weapons saying they are coming to fix meter. From 0 to my current age over 30, I have not seen that before, and it's very, very lawless to me. So it's a welcoming news from the lawmakers.
And how has the installation process been so far for residents in the area?
Currently, it's too early. As per some contacts we try to make and see, it's too early, and it rains here heavily later in the evening. So I'm sure their work for today will even be truncated at a point due to the heavy rain. So we see what goes on from tomorrow, whether the directives will be taken or they will react or there will be responses. We are all waiting to see. But in the good interest of customer relations, we think we don't need military. They have not done enough consultation. They said they are doing pre-installation, but currently, I'm sure over 200 meters have been installed. How many meters prepaid they need to do their pre-installation surveys and stuff, as the PRO keep saying on several platforms. So this is a welcoming news. We should go back to consultational tables. Let's see, we have done a lot from the beginning of the year. They must do more sensitization, give us vendor points, and we will take the meter. It's the same, as simple as ABCD. That's it.
And for you as a resident, how has the process of installation been for you so far?
The process of the installation has been very intimidating. So the military will even attest to themselves that the community have just give way. If you enter somebody's house, you just walk away. Because we doesn't live with even police like that in town. So if I'm home and the military men barge in, they are using weapons. The weapons can misfire, and they will have a name to call it. So if they enter home, they just leave. It's very, 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 very unfortunate for us to even witness this in the 21st century. So it has been very, very, very intimidating since they come. They have not beaten anybody. They have not harassed. But that is not the way we live. And we know what a gun can do. So if you see somebody carrying weapon entry, or why should you wait? We just give way for them to do whatever they want to do. If they want to even take the meter away, they take it away, period.
And following this directive, what do you propose should be the ideal way forward?
Please, you know what ECG is not communicating to the public is, there have been several consultations. There have been laid down roadmaps. Do more sensitization. They have not done enough. If you talk to their PRO, he's mentioning they want to pump EP, they want to pump this. But the Kobo area for ECG operation, it runs a long area. Somebody in a government, I have not even seen sample of the meter you said you are coming to install. So if you come to his house with military today and install that meter and goes away, how can he operate it? We have no education about what they are bringing to us. So how can we use it? Where are vendor points? We enter the weekend from this evening. ECG offices are closed. If you run out of credit, then you have to wait till Monday. That is a complaint of people who they have installed for already. The area have not been networked, so you can't even buy with their apps. You understand? So they should fix all those challenges. Who said we will not pay? Over the years, please look at the area in contention. It's from 2013 coming. Before 2013, are people not living in Lower Manya and Yilo Krobo?
Yeah.
And are they not paying bills?
All right. Thank you for time last year. This evening here on the news, I'm speaking to an anonymous resident in Krobo, where currently the Street Company of Ghana is installing its prepaid meters there. And we know that earlier there were instructions for military men, 50 military men, to be sent to that area to indicate and ensure that there is peaceful and also installation there happens smoothly. But according to Parliament, these military men have been asked to withdraw their service. So you're going to be speaking to a lawyer very soon to find out what exactly the law says about acts like this. Has the Parliament House or has the floor got the legal backing to instruct the withdrawal of these military men from helping install the prepaid meters as they were earlier doing or engaged in? And so lawyer Antied, who is a private legal practitioner, will be joining us on phone pretty soon to talk to us about what exactly he makes of the latest update from Parliament, where the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament has asked that all military men be withdrawn. Now, good evening to you, Antonio, and welcome to the News Night.
Good evening, my brother, and good evening to viewers.
Great. Now, does Parliament have what it takes to direct the withdrawal of these military men from the area? Is there any legal provision for such?
Yes, when we talk about legal provision, there's not everything that is expressed. But we look generally whether in law and in fact Parliament has that power. Parliament is the representative body of the good people of Ghana. And Parliament has a deliberative power. Matters that are of national interest, Parliament can take the matter up and take a decision or take a position. And of course, we want our governance institutions and actors to work in unison in delivering the national interest. So when Parliament speaks in that deliberative sense, they've seen danger looming, or they see that the result of the military action may occasion some security challenge there. And so that is why the representative, the voice of the people, spoke through that sense. So you don't have specific provision in the Constitution or any other law mandating Parliament to do so. But generally, Parliament is representative capacity and having the power to also, take a decision on urgent national, matters, can do so.
Now, Lawyer Antiedu, are there any possible repercussions for non-compliance to the directive, whether backed by the law or otherwise?
Yes, that is what I said earlier. Normally, you will find Parliament issuing a resolution, and a resolution of Parliament is a formal decision of the House. So, of course, if you fail to comply with the decision of Parliament, then you may be caught up in contempt of Parliament situations. But interestingly, you have the Minister for Defense, who himself is a member of Parliament. So he understands the authority and the mandate that has been given. But I think that it's a matter. So this is a matter that if he were to be around, he would have given maybe a position that would have changed the course of what Parliament took. But in that sense, if there's any difficulty in doing so, I'm sure he has to come to Parliament and tell the House that yet for one or two reasons, I see more security, matters that Parliament might not be in a position to see. And I still think that they may be there. I think it is that discourse that we want to encourage in this instance. It's not strictly about having the power. We all know that the power to direct the military is vested in the president. He is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. But of course, Parliament as a representative body has that residual power.
And great for your time with us on Newsnight, Lawyer Antiedu Benjamin, who just spoke to us on the issue of Parliament withdrawing the services of military men in Krobo. Away from that for now, but the best staying longer on Parliament as a member of Parliament Mines and Energy Committee, Edward Barr, has painted a gloomy picture of the country's fuel pricing situation. According to him, prices of petroleum products may continue to surge if government does not, as a matter of urgency, operationalize the Tema oil refinery.
The BDCs bring fuel, the issue of freight is considered. The issue of insurance and other things are considered. If you have a situation where as a country we decide, because this is a crisis, if you look at all the petroleum agreements we sign, we always indicate that in periods of crisis, the state has the right to ask partners of our various fuels to supply the country with crude. And so what it would have done, that the country would have been saved from the whole idea of having to, export or maybe import crude, because we'll just take it from our oil fields straight to tow and refine. That obviously will bring down some costs because it reduces what we call the ex-refinery price. So I think that alone would have saved us a lot of and again, it would have also helped us in terms of our foreign exchange issues, because as we speak now, because of the fact that BDCs have to import petroleum products, what is happening? If you look at their import bill, Bloomberg just reported just last week, the import bill is around $450 million every month. $450 million, Bank of Ghana can only auction $100 million. So can you imagine that we this forex is made available, is we are saved from having to go for this forex and rather just use our crude, process our crude to be able to supply. It can help even in stabilizing our city. And so the response that is, I don't have a problem looking for a strategic partner. But in the interim, you must make TOR work. As we speak now, TOR has been idle for God knows how long. Since the beginning of the year, we have not seen anything. The whole of last year, nothing. And TOR has not been working. Meanwhile, guess what? The workers are paid every month.
Think tank IES suggesting that the Tema oil refinery faces imminent collapse under the leadership of Sector Minister Dr. Matthew Prepaid. Now, Public Relations Officer of the Energy Ministry, Kwesi Fosu, said the ministry has already commenced processes to revive the oil refinery.
The Institute for Energy Security, in a petition, appealed to President Nana Akufo-Addo to save the Tema oil refinery, TOR, from imminent collapse. According to the Institute, the Energy Minister has failed to provide the leadership necessary for the restoration of TOR. But in a sharp rebuttal, Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Energy, Kwesi Fosu, said the minister has already taken steps to restore the refinery, describing the claims by the Institute of Energy Security as a distraction.
Just 4 days after getting into this office, went straight to TOR. And then he went there to meet union leaders, union members, staff, senior staff members, and then management. And then he proceeded to give TOR an IMC after consulting presidency. And as part of the notes that the IMC added to the board, the minister stated that the board should quickly work with management to do the necessary checks in consultation with the Interministerial Committee and other related bodies to ensure that TOR gets a strategic partner that is ready to work on the depths of TOR and then as well as reviving the refinery. And very soon we will see.
He added the cost of fuel will be reduced once the Tema oil refinery is rejuvenated.
He is committed to ensure if TOR is back on its feet and we are refining our own oil, then that means we're not going to pay more for importing fuel. And if you're not paying more for importing fuel, why do you? Well, you can't pass anything on to the final consumer. You understand? The cost of production is now lower, and that is what the consumer must also pay. So by fine, like, it will be extended to the consumer. We're going to pay less for fuel.
Kwesi Fosu said the minister is also committed to ensuring there is no corruption at the refinery once it begins operating at its full capacity.
Some people interdicted, were asked to step aside so the investigations will go on. After the investigation, we find out you've not done anything wrong, you come back and you take your job. So a minister who has shown this commitment should tell you that if you joke and he hears of any corruption, you will go. Because Tom must leave, and then he's been saying he's a minister today, tomorrow he will not be here. But TOR will be there forever. So whoever is not working in the interest of TOR must leave for TOR to function.
He assured the minister is committed to ensuring TOR is put on a sound footing to support Ghana's industrialization drive.
Now, an industrial relations officer at GPRTU, Imora Abbas, says his outfit has served notice to the government on its intended 15% increment in transport fares. He added that the president's remark on May Day that some taxes on fuel cannot be removed gives them no option than to increase transport fares to match the incessant increment in fuel prices.
Our clients are our relatives. In Ghana, a Ghana man has married an Ashanti man has married an Ewe has married an Izima, and Izima all over. So we are one big family in Ghana. We are always working with our relatives. So we always sympathize with some of these things that when we come to an increment, how best can we do that? The previous increment that we brought, the 20%, you heard later some of our drivers were saying, oh, the 20% is too small, you should have come up with 30%. Lo and behold, on who? On our people. Who are our people? Our own relatives. Hence, we brought that religious 20%. So it is our hope and prayer that we'll definitely come up with something reasonable. If we are to insist on the 15% fine. Our people are patiently waiting for us till we come out with a new upward adjustment. Well, the government can buy time because we have done our feasibility studies before coming up with this 15%. They also have to study and make sure they can meet us with some questions. We've also prepared to make sure that we are going to defend whatever percentage we brings out, but not to tell us that we shouldn't increase it. That wouldn't be possible. Okay. It wouldn't be nice also. If they have anything to do, then they should advise the NP or whoever is in position to make sure they can either slash the price down for us.
Well, let's now talk about journalism here in Ghana, as Albert Kwabena Jumfor has been elected the new Ghana Journalists Association president. Now, the media advisor and head of corporate affairs on the Tobinco Group of companies fended off competitors from the editor of Ghanaian Times and former general secretary of the GJA, Dave Agbenu, and a communications consultant, Gehat Mensah. While Albert Jumfor polled 233 votes, Gehat Mensah obtained 181 votes, and Dave Agbenu had 142 votes as well. Over 800 members of GJA forged their ballots right this moment, June 24, 2022, to elect the new nationwide and regional executives. The vice president place was contested solely by incumbent Linda Santia J, whereas Audrey additionally went unopposed for the treasury place. Kofi Yeboah was elected the general secretary, beating a new entrant, Akwesi Ajman of Adom FM. New entrant Dominic Lozi of GTV received the national organizing secretary race, beating long-time crime reporter and present foreign and supplement editor of the Daily Graphic, Mary Mensah. So let's bring more on the elections that took place earlier today with new persons occupying some spaces there in the GJA. Now, first, here says that postponement of elections from 2020 to 2021 and again in 2022. So in May 2021, GJA President Roland Athill-Money, the National Council and the Election Committee of the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, were sued by Caroline Boateng for staying in office illegally. According to the plaintiff, Athill-Money's administration ended on November 17, 2020, and saw the court to declare that all actions of the defendant from 17th November 2020 to date are null and void. Now, the fourth one says in September 2021, the GJA reached an out-of-court settlement with Caroline Boateng. The parties agreed that the GJA election should be held 1 month after the signing and coming into force of the agreement on Friday, September 3, 2021. 4 aspirants of the 2021 GJA election petitioned the Elections Dispute Adjudication Committee over what they described as irregularities in the electoral processes. The polls were postponed. So in its report, the committee found that the GJA's constitution was severely breached, leading to adverse consequences and stalemate. Now, on the 25th April 2022, the committee, in a report, directed the GJA's Elections Committee to take urgent steps to initiate processes for successful conduct of the association's elections by Thursday, June 30, 2022. On the 20th of June 2022, the GJA Elections Committee Chairman Osei Kojo Ado Esquire resigned barely 3 days to the election amidst controversies. So let's now talk about the man of the moment, Albert Duffer, who is now the president, elected president of the GJA. So now he is the immediate past GJA national organizer and also managing director of Atinka Media Village, a subsidiary of the Tobinco, before he was promoted to corporate affairs manager within the group. He's also the former chief operation officer in charge of media for Tobinco Group, also a former general manager of Atinka, a subsidiary of the Atinka Group, consulted for several reputable organizations in the country as a public relations officer consultant. So, following his declaration as the newly elected president of GJ, he spoke to the media. Take a listen.
Here are the results for the national executive elections held today, 24th day of June 2022. 6 positions were contested. Out of these 6 positions, 2 positions were unopposed, and these are the treasurer. So the person who has been declared unopposed for the treasurer is Audrey Dikalu. Audrey Dikalu has been declared unopposed for the treasurer position. Then the vice president also has been elected unopposed, and he is the person of Linda Asante Eje. Then the next position which was contested is the organizing secretary, and here are the results. Mary Mensah had 255 votes. Dominic Krozi had 300 votes. The total valid vote cast 555. Total rejected votes 4. Total votes cast 559. On the basis of these results, Dominic Krozi has been elected organizing secretary for Ghana Journalists Association. Public affairs. 2 candidates contested for the position of public affairs. Rebecca Epe had 362 votes. Caesar Abakali has 191 votes. Total votes cast 553. Rejected votes 4. Then total votes cast 557. On the basis of these results, Rebecca Epe has been elected public affairs for GJ. General secretary position. 2 people contested for this position. Akwesi Ajiman had 208 votes. Kofi Yeboah had 348 votes. Total valid votes 556. Total rejected votes 3. Total votes cast 559. On the basis of these results, Kofi Yeboah has been elected General Secretary for GJ. The President. 3 candidates contested for the President position. Dave Agbenu had 142 votes. Gihad Mensah had 181 votes. Albert Kwabna Jumfuo had 233 votes. Total valid vote cast 556. Total rejected votes 3. Total votes cast 559. On the basis of these results, Albert Kwabna Jumfuo has been elected president for GJ.
I want to thank the Almighty God and all members in good standing for the confidence reposed in me. Indeed, it has been very long, almost 2 years. But at long last, the battle is over. And Ghanaian journalists have made a decision to put me up front is very humbly. I will, in all humility, serve to promote their welfare, raise standards of the profession, as well as rise against anti-media elements. I am committed to the transformation of the association in all elements.
Watching this night here on Metro TV from Mathulusia Regional Accra, the Akuya Boy in my studio. Quick 10. We'll be back with more. Just stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Now, the office of the president has described as inaccurate assertions by Member of Parliament for North Tongue Constituency Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa that President Nana Akufo-Addo chartered a luxurious flight to Brussels and Kigali at the expense of the Ghanaian taxpayer. Now, a response issued by Director of Communications to Untitled on Friday, June 24, said the assertions by the National Democratic Congress NDC MP was only a propaganda.
The MP for North Tongue Constituency, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, on Thursday in a Facebook post, criticized the president for ordering a top-of-the-range expensive aircraft in the K5 Aviation Collection, a luxury fleet owned by the German National Aviation Authority for yet another of his presidential travels.
He thought that he would just mislead us, that he's flying commercial, we'll all go to rest and switch off our surveillance system, but we persisted and cut him pants down. This time he switched companies totally. He's not used this K5 aviation before, based in Germany.
You still tracked him?
Yeah. And you see, anytime he contacts these companies, he goes for their most expensive in the fleet. Most expensive. If you go, viewers can go on the K5 aviation website. The most expensive, 20,000 euros an hour. And this one has more bedrooms than the earlier ones. This one
bedrooms?
Yes, it has one master bedroom, 2 bedrooms. So 3 bedrooms in all. And you wonder why he needs all those bedrooms.
In giving the facts of the matter, however, Eugene, Director of Communications at the Presidency, indicated that prior to President Akufo-Addo's departure from Accra on Sunday, June 19, Ghana's mission in Brussels had sent notice about an impending strike in the aviation sector in Belgium. The situation was to result in the cancellation of over 300 flights, including those from Brussels to Kigali. In furtherance of this, Belgium's largest airport, Brussels Airport, was compelled to cancel all outgoing flights on Monday, 20th June, the day President Akufo-Addo arrived in Brussels, because employees at the airport had joined in an aviation strike, the statement noted. Eugene indicated that, with the presidency having been given prior information regarding the strike action before the president's trip to Brussels, the option to travel using direct commercial flight from Brussels to Kigali was not available. It explained that the decision, therefore, to charter a flight for the president was to let him make it to Kigali in time.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where business activities at the new KGTL market in Kumasi have suffered a setback for past 3 days after the Electricity Company of Ghana cut power supply to the new trading edifice. The new KGTL market, according to management, owed the Electricity Company of Ghana a whopping 5 million Ghana cedis of unpaid electricity bills.
A visit to the KGTL market in Kumasi by Metro News on Friday afternoon revealed that there was total darkness in the entire market, particularly the ground floor. Most traders were using their mobile phones as torches to light their wares, while others whose businesses heavily rely on electricity, like the cold stores, eateries, and others, have also closed their shops. The chairman of the Federation of Traders in Kumasi, Nana Akwesi Prempeh, led the executives of the Federation to the Ashanti Regional Police Command to seek police protection to embark on a massive demonstration against the act. He complained that the traders are in difficult times following the ECG's action. He advised the managers of the KGTL market to provide a meter for each shop in the market to avert electricity problems in the market.
We are disappointed in them. We are highly, highly disappointed. For almost 2 years now, we have been agitating for individual separate meters within the market. We, the traders, were prepared to pay for the meters. We don't see the reason why the government is reluctant in heeding to the call of these traders. We've got to realize that unless we come out strongly in the form of demonstration to demonstrate against the government, maybe they will heed to us.
Some of the traders also expressed their frustrations on the power cut.
If we feel we cannot stay in the darkness, we will move out so they close down the market.
The manager of the Kumasi City Market, Kofi Duffer, explained that the management is working on ensuring that every shop gets its separate meters. He urged the traders to honor their responsibilities and pay their bills for electricity that they have consumed to avert any reoccurrence of the total power cut in the market.
It is an issue that has been a bit thorny in that the traders have said they will not pay any electric bill until they receive individual meters. Management has played this role in ensuring that the necessary documentation has been done. Just last week, the ECG, who management had engaged at various levels, presented its reports to us. Hopefully next week the board will meet on it in an emergency meeting to invite bids so that the contract will be awarded.
And still watching us live here on Newsnight. After this quick 10, Winston Tak will be here with the latest update in business.
Welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Take. And now to a false business story. Data from the 2021 World Development Report shows that 37% of Ghanaians lack digital skills. There is more in the following report.
The World Development Report 2021 was on the theme Data for Better Lives, which explores the tremendous potential of the changing data landscape to improve the lives of poor people, businesses, and societies. According to the Minister of Communication and Digitalization, Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, access to data will greatly improve digital literacy in Ghana.
We all know that if we can establish a proper data regime, we would have more transparency and efficiency in the utilization of the data. Artificial intelligence will enable real-time update of the different models for different stakeholders. And government will be able to make policy decisions based on data science and communicate effectively to citizens who would have access to the same data, which should improve upon efficiencies and effectiveness and the trust relationship between government and the citizenry. What would make it possible for us to access the data held in several databases? And we think that putting in place a data exchange hub will provide the infrastructure, protocols, and framework for data sharing across the public and the private sectors.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim called for the establishment of a data institute. The CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Technologies, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, believes the government should intensify investment into digital literacy.
It is about time we think about establishing a National Data Policy Institute, and one of their core functions would be the mapping of data to policy. So at the end of the day, if for instance we use the call detail records to track flooding, get people to say that don't go to these places because we've used that rich data from our telecommunication institutions, we'll be able to say that that coordination, that partnership has led to this X number of lives that are saved because of the data that we get in from the telecos.
The workshop is part of a series of national events designed to raise awareness of data policy messages in the Western and Central Africa region.
It's very important that one of the major things we see in Ghana in terms of the ability to be able to take advantage of this digital transformation is the issue of literacy. Digital literacy, and it's also relevant to digital literacy. And so we need to be investing a lot of resources into that. And then how do we use these technologies to resolve the challenges that confront us? Because our context is completely different. So same like the way we did with mobile money. We did not go the way the West had gone, where they'd use the cards and all of that. We use technology, and we were able to look at our context to apply that to us.
All over the world, Ghana has been lauded for its fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Even with that, there's a need for advanced technology in advancing this project.
The use of new technology allows us to obtain accurate data. It is imperative, therefore, that laboratory equipment is constantly upgraded. The increased demand for quality laboratory results has led to the increase in automation. At Omni Diagnostics, we place importance on both people and technology as they need each other to thrive in the provision of speedy and responsive healthcare. We contributed significantly to the success of COVID-19.
That'll be all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. We take a break. We'll be back with sports with Phil John Corte. Stay tuned. It's time for sports. My name is Phil John Quarter. Parliament Sports, Youth and Culture Committee will complete its report on the Blaster abysmal performance at the January African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. This comes after the committee's yesterday's met Captain Andre Dede Ayew. Vice Chairman of the committee, Eugene Boachi Entry, says the meeting was so successful.
We have taken over as the new leadership. Like I said, the committee has been reconstituted. So according to what we saw, the Black Stars captain wasn't available at the time, to appear before the committee. So we felt that we had to hear from him. So we gave, he is in the country, or he was in the country. We were told he was leaving either last night or tonight. I'm not too sure. So we had to find space to meet him for us to come and tell us what transpired there. And we are going to put a report together for Ghana's Parliament to debate and make necessary recommendations to the FA. And in due course, we will be meeting the FA too. They are pretty busy at the moment, but in a short time, we are going to meet them to also, listen to their side of the story. Cameroon. And the captain's invitation was an impromptu one because he was in the country and he was leaving. So when we got hold of him, he felt, look, can we do it whilst here? We said, why not? That's why we've done his bit. The rest will follow, possibly within the next week or two. And then from there on, we put a report together because we have to speak to almost every single stakeholder for us to get a comprehensive or bird's eye view.
Meanwhile, defending champions of the MTN FA Cup, Hasselfolk will hope to make up for their poor performance in the Ghana Premier League when they play Bichim United in the finals of the competition at the Babaya Sports Stadium on Sunday. Chairman of the committee, Wilton Atta, hopes to see the best of everything on Sunday in Kumasi.
In terms of form guide, you might think that Bichim, having finished third, given their pedigree, they may have an edge. But trust me, Accra Suffolk is Accra Suffolk. Accra Suffolk is Accra Suffolk. So we have a massive match to watch. I can't, if you tell me, I mean, if I'm somebody, I don't predict. And I can't even predict. Because this one will go to the cliffhanger. It won't be an easy match. It's going to be a thriller, real thriller, Camely. Because we are playing a curtain raiser at 2 p.m. Immediately after Magic starts. And come with your phone. Because there will be a lot of credits out for grabs, fastest fingers. There's a lot to win. There's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to enjoy. There's a lot to survive. There's a lot to live with. You are going to leave Babaya Sports Stadium on Sunday with so much thrill in your heart.
Well, that's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarter. So you are smiling and ready for showbiz.
Thank you, Phil, for the updates in sports. It's time for entertainment news. My name is Esiodua Akumia. The Deputy Minister of Tourism, Honorable Mark Okrekumante, has caused a stir in the creative arts industry after announcing the transitioning of the creative arts industry from a council to an agency at the recently held VGM May 23 Music Summit. Enoke Japan expresses dismay on Entertainment's review.
The original council or agency is not what we are seeing today.
just like what Mark said. He said they have changed it from the council to an agency. You understand? And it only tells you the industry have been shortchanged. That's the fact. Because originally it was supposed to be a council where you have all the players, let's say Musica, the head from Musica, from producers, from the beauticians, all forming the board.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was the whole idea. It's just like the medical council. You don't have government interfering in the medical council, like the lawyers, the bar, you don't have government. Government has no business doing anything there. But for us, our own people have sold us out. So no problem. We are there now. So let's deal with what we have. If the deputy minister is asking us to, read, then we want to tell him that we've read and we want him to understand it clear. That's why yesterday I was trying to make the point. The law, which is Act 1045, let's say 1048, sorry, 1048, 1048, it speaks about, that's the umbrella body for the whole creative arts industry. Now, the law has been passed, and what it means is that as soon as it is passed, we must have a board to implement whatever we are supposed to do. Because, like I said, it says the transitional provisions. It says whoever has been operating before, you are supposed to register them after a year. So immediately the law is passed in 2020, they should work to get a board in place. And that board will put the modalities as to how we will even register our works with them. Now,
Now, Kojo Darkwa, who is an entertainment journalist, spoke on the excuses that is often given to why up until now a board has not been appointed.
I've heard excuses coming from the same MPP creative arts people saying that President has a lot on his table. So then I asked them, if President has a lot on his table, just about last month, I should say last month or so, President appointed what's his name?
Dr.
Okoboy as NHIA Chief Executive. Yeah. There's a lot on President's desk, but he was able to, appoint. President continues to appoint as we speak. It is the laziness, the shallow lack of vision with the present people within the creative arts manning. That is why we are here. Again, it is because of selfish interest. So let me give you the politics within this space. You had President, when it was a council, you had Mark as a president. You had Bibi Bright as the executive secretary. Okay? Sorry, Jan Kroma as the executive secretary.
Yeah.
And then you had Bibi Bright as the secretary. Mark has now moved beyond them and has been given a ministerial position.
Yeah.
Automatically, we want to see Jan Kroma operating, okay, as the executive secretary, or the CEO, she calls herself, I repeat, as the executive secretary for the Creative Art Agency. Little did they know, and Mark himself, little did he know that from day one, people have been reading, like myself, we've been reading that same bill that they took to Parliament, that we need the president to appoint, just as president did with the National Film Authority, which was done in 2016, 16th of December. It was done under the same December by John Dramani Mahamad's era.
Well, that's it for entertainment news. My name is Esiodua Akumia, right?
Thank you so much. Akumia, it's now time for the latest update on the international front. And on the international front, millions of women in the U.S. will lose the constitutional right to abortion after the Supreme Court overturned its 50-year-old Roe and Wade decision. Now, the judgment paves the way for individual states to ban the procedure. half are expected to introduce new restrictions or bans. 13 have already passed so-called trigger laws to automatically outlaw abortion. Now, President Joe Biden described it as a tragic error and urged states to enact laws to allow the procedure. After the Supreme Court ruling, abortion access is expected to be cut off for about 36 million women of reproductive age, according to research from Planned Parenthood, a healthcare organization that provides abortions. That's the news for tonight here on Metro TV from our studios here at Regional Accra, the Queer Boy Studio. I am Bryce, Nanakwasi Aminin. Have a great weekend. Bye.